In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started with Jupyter Notebook. In the previous tutorial, first one, I already show you how to install mini Conda. And so in this video, I'm just going to show you how we can use Conda to install GMap package and also Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so let's get started. First, you can go to the start menu and then click Anaconda prompt. If you're using Mac computer, then you can use your terminal. So once you open the Anaconda prompt, then you can type conda env list, okay, just to see what kind of environment you already created. So I already have this one called GE. I can certainly delete this one. So if you're new to this tutorial series, you might not have this one yet. So I can just delete all of them and we can start from scratch. So if you want to delete a conda environment, you can just conda remove -n, basically the name of your conda environment, and then double hyphen O, and then hit enter. Then just Y is automatically remove everything from the conda environment, and then we can start from scratch. So if you go to, for example, open your Windows computer and double click, if you go to users, the name, and then under miniconda 3, once you get into the folder envs, you should be able to see the folder if you have created something. And right now, if you see, it's still deleting the folder. Once it's been deleted, everything should be gone under here. So it might take a few more seconds, and let's wait. Okay, so now it has been the environment has been deleted. But if you go to the your miniconda 3 envs folder, you still see this one here. So right now it's safe to just use delete, and then to delete everything from your computer. Okay, so then we can start from scratch, and we can just conda create -n. So you'll be the name of your environment, so you can choose any name. Again, I'm just going to use GE and then Python. If you want to use the latest version, you can just use Python, but I'm just going to use Python 3.8, and then just hit enter. So this will create a new environment. You just type Y, enter. Since I previously already installed the environment, so it won't download everything from the internet again, so save you some bandwidth, and so it's pretty quick, right? Only a couple seconds. Once we create the environment, we can just conda activate GE. So now we have this environment. Then we can install the packages that we want, right? So this one here, right now we only have the basic Python packages, so just Python and some others. But if you want to install any packages, you can. So in this example, I'm going to use the GMap package, link in the description. So you can go to the repo and then click the upper right corner to go to the web page. And if you see from on the left side here, installation. So this one shows you how to install the package. You can use either pip or using conda. So I would recommend using this one because pip usually does not resolve the dependencies. So if you later you have some other packages, sometimes it might mess up your environment. So try your best to make it consistent. Install everything using this. So earlier we already used the first two steps. So the next will be to install the GMap package. But I highly recommend using Mamba. So this is basically an alternative to conda. Once you install Mamba, then you can everything that the conda command can be just replaced with Mamba. So you'll be much faster. So trust me, it will save you a lot of time. So next, we just need this line. So we can just conda install Mamba, and then Mamba, and then -c. So C represent channel. So conda first, and then hit enter. So this one should install the alternative conda command. So it will be Mamba, and then later we just use everything using Mamba. Hit enter, and then It should take a couple seconds. Then we can install this one. So we then can use this line. So you're welcome to just copy and then come back to here, right click. It's automatically paste this one to your Anaconda prompt, and then just hit enter. Ooh. Delete something. Okay. Enter. So Mamba is especially fast when resolving the dependencies. If you're using the conda install gmap, sometimes it might take a lot longer. Yeah, it might be a couple minutes. So in this way, you see right now it's already resolved. So you're going to download, for example, 150 packages. That's a lot because gmap use some other dependencies, and other dependency also built on top of other dependencies. So you end up installing a lot of packages. But that's fine. You can just let the process finish. Everything is automated, so you don't have to worry too much. Once it's done, I also highly recommend that you install some Jupyter Notebook extensions, because the Jupyter Notebook itself does not have the extension. So sometimes you might, for example, you want to see the table of content, or you might want to show the line number of your source code. You cannot have this functionality using just the notebook. So you need some extensions to provide you some additional things to make your coding more efficient. And if you want, you can click here, install some Jupyter Notebook extension. This is the repo. I showed you how to install, and you can just simply use this command. Again, since we already installed Mamba, so now we can just replace this one with Mamba. So if you use Conda, sometimes might take a while. So just keep that in mind. And let's see, it might take a few more seconds. And once it's done, then we can continue. Okay, now the installation has completed, so we can continue to install the Jupyter Notebook extension. Again, you can come here, you can just copy this one. We're just going to use the Mamba command. So you'll be MAMBA, and then you can just right click, you will paste, click enter. So this one should not take very long. And once you have the extension, then we can enable the extension. So hit Y, enter. And the compressing almost done. So once it's over, then we can start Jupyter Notebook, and we can start doing coding. Okay, so if you want to see what kind of packages have been installed on within this environment, you can just use conda list to see all the packages that has been installed to this environment. And if you scroll up, there's a lot of packages. We're going to use some of those, but don't worry too much right now. So all we need to do is just to open Jupyter Notebook. So how we can open Jupyter Notebook, you just type Jupyter space notebook and then hit enter. So it's open on your browser. By default, it's going to open within your home directory. So wherever your home directory is. But if you want to go to a specific directory, you can also do that as well. So let me keep in mind, if you close the terminal, your browser will be dead. So if I close this one, is this one still working? No, it's not working anymore. So you always need to keep the Anaconda prompt open. So again, I'm just going to show you one more time. If you start from scratch, then you can go to Anaconda prompt and then open this one. So by default, it's going to open Jupyter Notebook within this directory. So if you want to, for example, you can cd to other directory, for example, your documents, and then you just hit enter. So now, right now, we are within the documents folder. For example, my name, and then documents. So if you enter a directory, and then if you type Jupyter Notebook, it will open that directory we open Jupyter Notebook within this directory. We haven't activated environment because Jupyter notebook does not come with mini conda, the base environment. So we need to conda activate GE. So this is the environment that we installed Jupyter notebook earlier. Then you just type Jupyter notebook, enter, then it's open. Okay, so this is where we are right now under the documents directory, right in here. So next, we can start creating some notebook. For example, if you want, you can directly create a notebook just under this directory, or you can go to any other directory and then just open. It's up to you. So I'm just going to click Python 3. As you can see, it's open. Then if you come back, it's going to create a notebook called notebook.ipynb. So this is the one in here. Right now it's empty. So then you can start writing, doing coding. By the way, so earlier I mentioned to you that it'll be helpful to install some notebook extensions. So this is the one where you can activate all the notebook extensions. If you click this one, disable configuration without if you uncheck this, okay, and then you can start enable some of the extensions. For example, the table of contents. So in here, right on the lower left corner, this one will be useful. Okay, and you can also here have the other one called gist it. This one is also very useful, especially if you run into some problems and you want to ask questions on GitHub. It's better to save your notebook and then provide a link so that people can reproduce what you did. There's also another one, maybe hiding inputs. For example, hide inputs. So sometimes if you just want to see the output, you don't want to see the source code, you can also use this one, hide input. So those are the couple ones you can explore a little bit more, but those are some of the ones that I use all the time. Oh, there's also another one, hide input. Oh, I think it's this one. Check this one. Okay, so once you enable, you can come back to here and look at this one. Right now we don't really have many yet, but if you refresh, you're supposed to have some of those enabled. Okay, so now you see these icons already being enabled, so we can use it later. And so for example, just print, just type print hello world, right, and then alt enter. You're able to see the output directly. So if you want to hide the source code, for example, right now you only see the output. Right now, because we only have a couple lines, so it is not like very useful to use this. But when you have a lot of lines, especially have some maps or have some figures, you might want to hide this one. So you can also have the table of content like this one. So next, I'm going to show you how to download some notebook examples so that you can play with those notebook examples. Let me go back to Gmap. Okay, so on the left side here, you will see notebooks, and you will see a lot of notebook examples like this. So you can click, for example, Gmap intro, or maybe Gmap base map, whatever you want, maybe just the first one, so I can show you what it looks like. So once you click this one, and then if you click the icon download notebook, it's automatically being downloaded to your downloads folder. So you can copy, maybe just copy this one to your directory. So I'm just going to copy this one and then go to my documents, and I can just directly paste this one in here, or I can maybe create a new folder and then name GEE, enter, paste. Okay, so I already downloaded this one. Then I can come back to here, files. You should be able to see the folder like I just created. Click this one, and then you can click the notebooks, and it's being opened. So you can see right now we have the entire notebook, and we can start executing the notebook. The extension that I showed you earlier, so this will be very useful, right? So if you uncheck this one, you can see the table content on the left side. So if your document is very long, so this will be very handy, right? You can also hide the source code. So let me show you what do I mean. First, you need to let's execute this one. So you can use the keyboard shortcut. If you don't know, you can click the help and then just hit shortcut. Here you're going to see a lot of shortcuts, but the most common one is basically how to execute. So it'll be Control Enter Alt Enter and also Shift Enter. So let me see where it is. So, path. Not here. Okay, edit more. I don't see it in here. Anyway, so all you need to do is just if you hover over a code block, then you can just click the run icon, or you can just Alt Enter. It will create a new cell. So if you hit Alt Enter, it should execute this one, and then similarly, I can use this Shift Enter. You will move your cursor to the next one. So now we have the map, as you can see from here. By the way, if you are new to GMap, you will need to sign up on Earth Engine account first. Otherwise, you won't be able to see the map. So if you want, you can go to my repository, and then from here, you can sign up for an Earth Engine account. So let me see if I have our installation here. We can go to Google Earth Engine and then to sign up. Okay, so you can go to Google Earth Engine to sign up an account. Otherwise, you won't be able to use this one. And so once you have the map, if you click this one here, like I showed you earlier, the extension, it's going to hide everything. So you only have the source code hidden, but you have all the text and all the maps. So these are all the markdown. So the markdown will be displayed, but the source code will be hidden. So if you click this one more time, now you see all the source code, all the code blocks, right? So it's very useful if you want to use that. Similarly, if you want to use this one, the gist, it will gonna depends on your if you already log into your GitHub account, then you will make this one basically upload this one to your GitHub account. Then you can share the link with anyone so that they can look at your source code. If you want other people to help you at debugging, or you also helping others showing some example code, you can do that as well. So for example, I can change the description and then just say click the button, gist it. Okay, you need to go back, require authentication. So we need to come back to here and then click this one. If you click this here, gist, right? And you need to, for example, GitHub personal access token. So then you can follow the instruction. Later you can paste your token here. You should be able to use this one. So if you want, you can go to your GitHub account and then to create the token. I'm not going to show you in this video. You can do that afterwards. Okay, so that's all for this kind of a brief introduction to the GMap, but you can continue to execute if you want. So for example, I can continue just Shift Enter and then Shift Enter, right? You can add all kind of base maps. For example, this is the Google satellite base map. I can turn this one on and off. I can also switch the opacity. You can also, for example, add other base maps. So open topo map. Very nice maps. You can also have a lot of other base map you want to choose from. So as you can see, you only need a few lines of code. It's not very complicated, so really powerful. So click and switch all kind of base map if you want. Some of the base map might not be available, so it might take some time to load. But anyway, we can try it out by yourself. Next, let's talk about some of the common things that you want to use. So there are something you want to see from here. For example, most commonly used basically restart and clear output. If you are using the notebook and then you are writing a lot of source code, sometimes if you don't execute the source code in sequence, you might end up break something. So the source code might not work properly if you start from the very scratch. So basically, after you finish everything, you want to basically test it out, see if the notebook works properly. Or you need to just restart and clear output. Or you can restart and run all. So I'm just going to restart and clear output. If your source code takes a long time to run, you don't want to run all. So then you can run all one by one. So if you restart your kernel, it clear up all the variable right now available for this notebook. So you can start from scratch. So I'm going to, for example, if I just execute this one, they say it won't work, okay, because the library uh, they have not been imported yet. So basically you need to do that one more time, right? Import the libraries and then execute. Then you should be able to see the map. Okay, so these are the two that I use very often. The other two that I use is run all or run all above, run all below. So especially if you sometimes your code takes a long time to run and you want to keep the result, then you can run all below, right, without having to repeat the process. So if I'm let me one more time clear the output. Let's say I want to run all the source code above. I can just come to for example this code block, and then if I go to cell run all above, it's going to run everything above. Similarly, you can click and run all below, it's going to run everything. Because this notebook is very long, I don't want to do that right now, but you can test it if you want. Okay, similarly, if you don't want to restart your kernel, you can just also clear the output. So for example, this is the output right now for this specific cell. I can just go here, cell, current output, and then clear, right? So you will only clear this current one. If you want to clear all of them, you just need to cell all output and then clear. So now everything is clear. All the output is are gone. You can continue to test it if you want. So this is a nice way that you can some of the basic shortcuts that you can utilize to do coding. Once you are done with your notebook, you can click save. So this one will be saved to your computer. So it's there. If I come back right now to GE, right? So you will see here it's being edited, modified 9:02 p.m. right? So it's right after I click the button. You can also use your keyboard. So for example, right now I'm in this code block, right? You can switch this one to, for example, to markdown, or you can also add another cell below. So if you want, make sure that you put your cursor outside, and then on your keyboard, if you hit A, it's going to add a new cell above. Again, I'm gonna move here. If I click B, press B on your keyboard, it's going to create one below. Okay, so A means above, B means below. If you want to delete this one, you can hit X. It's basically cut this one. So again, X. So do it one more time. A. If you just type A here, if your cursor is within the cell, it's not going to add a new cell. You need to click outside. Alright, or you can hit escape. It's going to escape. So make sure that your cursor is not here. Otherwise, you type A and B, it's not going to add anything. So again, escape, and then A is going to create a new cell above. Similarly, B is going to create another one below. X is going to delete. You can also move cell up and down. So if I hit I think this one you will need an extension. So let me come back to here. Let me see if we have any move. Okay, so you need to use this one. Move selected cell. You need to activate this one. I'm gonna activate, and then come back to here. Then let me refresh just to make sure that the extension is enabled. So okay, so now let's give it a try. So if you have this one and then use your your keyboard, it'll be the Alt and up arrow, or down arrow. So Alt. So if I put this one here, Alt, and then up, down, up. So this is also another one that's very handy if you want to move the cell. Sometimes if you have some code cell, you need to reorder the sequence. So this is how we can do that. So up, down. Okay. And if you don't want them anymore, you can just hit X, and then you will basically remove the cell. So I mean, come back to here. Maybe this one. I don't need this one right now. So just hit X. It's gone. So you're going to create a new one, B, and then create another one, A. It's going to change it. So similarly, you can change this one, for example, to if you want to change the code to markdown, you can do that as well, right? So right now this becomes markdown. I can change it back to code if you want. Okay, so this is how you can easily modify some of the code blocks or markdowns, and then you can move around. Again, you can show the table content if you want. Okay, I think that's pretty much for this notebook tutorial. Let me see if we have anything that I want to show you. Similarly, you can use like in here, right? You can click the button. So, for example, I know if I want to add a new one, you can just insert a cell below or hit B, right? It's the same stuff that I showed you earlier. And cell, not so much. So try your best to get used to some of the shortcuts. Then you'll be much faster. So when you are doing the coding. And so this is for Jupyter Notebook. Some people might prefer using JupyterLab, so you can do that as well. Let me show you in here. By default, the Gmap does not install JupyterLab, so you can just type JupyterLab and then click the link. Come here, installation. So you can, for example, this one, your conda install. We're going to install this one using Mamba. So copy. And then let's open another Anaconda prompt. Then Conda activate GE, right? Then we can use Mamba and then just right click, Mamba install, hit enter. It should be able to install the JupyterLab, and then we can use JupyterLab if you want. And let's see. To installing this one. Okay, hit Y and not take very long. Once it's installed, then we can use JupyterLab. So okay, it's done. So next, all you need to do is just type, similar to Jupyter Notebook, you just type JupyterLab, hit enter, and you should be able to see JupyterLab. Most of the keyboard shortcuts are very similar with Jupyter Notebook, so you can also use that. And let's open the same notebook that I opened earlier, right? Double click, and then this one here. Oh no, not this one. Gmap. The same. Let me come back to. Okay, documents. Then GE. Okay, so this one. Okay, and then from here you can do the same thing. You can do execute the source code. You can control enter, alt enter, or shift enter. And so this one you can have more newer features. You can also do debugging. I might have another tutorial show you how to do debugging, but for now I think that's all for this tutorial. So you can choose to use JupyterLab or Jupyter Notebook. So similar in here, if you want to switch this one to Jupyter Notebook, you can, for example, go to the URL, right? So JupyterLab, it will be lab. If you change to tree and then hit enter, it should switch to Jupyter Notebook. So again, I can come back to here. If I switch to lab, then it will open using JupyterLab. So you can easily switch between the two modes if you want. Okay, so that's all for this video. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to use Visual Studio Code. So we are going to get into all the tools and editor that we need so they can start designing software packages. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Okay.